signs your mother-in-law is a narcissist and how to protect your marriage. Have you ever felt like your mother-in-law is constantly interfering in your marriage? Does it seem like no matter what you do, you can't please her, and it's causing tension between you and your spouse? You're not alone. Today, we're going to talk about identifying potentially narcissistic traits in a mother-in-law and, more importantly, how to protect your marriage from the negative impact of those behaviors. Now, it's incredibly important to say up front that I'm not a therapist or psychiatrist, and I can't diagnose anyone. We're focusing on recognizing patterns of behavior, not labeling someone. If you suspect someone has narcissistic personality disorder, only a qualified professional can make that diagnosis. But understanding the signs is the first step in protecting yourself and your relationship. So, what exactly are we talking about? Narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, is a mental health condition characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, troubled relationships, and a lack of empathy for others. It exists on a spectrum, and many people may exhibit some narcissistic traits without having the full-blown disorder. The key traits to watch out for are grandiosity, a constant need for admiration, and a profound lack of empathy. This can manifest as manipulative behavior, a need to control situations, and a complete disregard for your feelings or the feelings of your spouse. Let's dive into some specific signs that your mother-in-law might be exhibiting narcissistic behaviors. Remember, it's about the pattern of behavior, not just one isolated incident. Constant criticism and judgment. A narcissistic mother-in-law often feels entitled to criticize everything you do, from your parenting style to your cooking to your career choices. Nothing is ever good enough. For example, maybe you make a birthday cake for your spouse, and instead of appreciating the effort, she focuses on how it's not as good as the one she makes. This is a classic manipulation tactic where she involves a third party, often your spouse, to deliver messages or create conflict. She might say things like, "Your father and I are very concerned about how much weight your wife has gained," instead of speaking directly to you. This creates a divide and puts your spouse in an impossible position. Lack of boundaries. Narcissistic individuals often struggle with respecting boundaries. This could mean showing up unannounced, constantly calling or texting, or even going through your personal belongings. Maybe she rearranges your furniture when she visits or gives unsolicited advice about your finances, even after you've asked her to stop. Even when they're the ones causing the problem, they'll twist the situation to make themselves the victim. If you try to set a boundary, she might say, "I'm so hurt that you don't want me around. I just want to be a part of your lives." This is designed to make you feel guilty and back down. Gaslighting. This is a form of manipulation where she tries to make you question your own sanity and perception of reality. She might deny things she said or did, or tell you that you're overreacting when you express your feelings. For example, you mention that she made a rude comment at dinner, and she replies, "Oh, darling, you must have misunderstood. I would never say anything like that. You're being too sensitive." Grandiose sense of self-importance. She believes she is superior to others and expects to be treated as such. She may constantly brag about her accomplishments, her looks, or her possessions, and belittle the achievements of others. For example, she may tell you that her way of doing things is the only correct way. Must be the center of attention. She always needs to be the center of attention. She may interrupt conversations, talk over others, or constantly steer the topic back to herself. For example, at your spouse's birthday dinner, she somehow manages to make the night about herself and her accomplishments. These behaviors, over time, can have a devastating impact on your marriage. It can create constant conflict and tension, leading to resentment and a feeling of walking on eggshells. Your spouse may feel torn between defending you and pleasing their mother, which can erode trust and intimacy in your relationship. You might start to feel like you're constantly battling for your spouse's attention and loyalty. So, how can you protect your marriage from a potentially narcissistic mother-in-law? It's not easy, but it is possible. Here are some strategies. 1. Open and honest. Communication with your spouse. This is crucial. Talk to your spouse about your feelings and concerns using we language. Instead of saying, "Your mother is driving me crazy," try. I feel like we're struggling to navigate your mother's behavior together, and it's impacting our relationship. Can we talk about it? Focus on the impact on your relationship. 2. Establishing and maintaining boundaries. This is key. Decide what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not. Boundaries can be things like limiting the frequency of visits, setting ground rules for conversations, or refusing to discuss certain topics. Be clear, concise, and consistent. For example, we appreciate you wanting to visit, but we need some space as a couple. We'll reach out when we're ready to schedule something. 3. United front. It's essential that you and your spouse present a united front. This means that if you set a boundary, your spouse needs to back you up, even if it's difficult. If your mother-in-law tries to go around you to your spouse needs to redirect her back to you and reinforce the boundary. 4. Limit contact when necessary. Sometimes, the best way to protect yourself and your marriage is to limit contact with your mother-in-law. This doesn't mean cutting her off completely, but it might mean reducing the frequency of visits, phone calls, or emails. You can do this gracefully by saying something like, "We are trying to focus on building our lives together and need some time to ourselves." 5. Seek professional help. If you're struggling to navigate this situation on your own, consider seeking professional help. Marriage counseling can provide a safe space to communicate and develop coping strategies. Individual therapy can also help you process your feelings and build resilience. Remember, prioritizing your marriage is paramount. It's okay to set boundaries and protect your relationship, even if it means upsetting your mother-in-law. You're not alone in this. Many couples face similar challenges. Seek support from friends, family, or a therapist. Ultimately, your well-being and the well-being of your marriage are what matter most. Don't let anyone, even a mother-in-law, jeopardize that. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more relationship advice. And let me know in the comments if you've experienced similar challenges and what strategies have worked for you. Thanks for watching.